All right, general thought.
It's bad. It's real bad. This premiere episode of Class is one of the worst television things I've ever seen. Granted, I've not seen some really, really bad stuff. Like I'm not even talking previous decades. Let's be nice and say limited television experience within this decade. Class is the worst. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's
Worse than an episode of Jersey Shore?
scripted thing. Jersey Shore isn't scripted. I don't know. Is Jersey Shore even from this decade? I don't remember. Whatever. It's real bad. This is like every scene, every line of dialogue I have a problem with.
Edward.
Well, I think it's okay. I actually gave a shit about what happened.
I won't say it's the worst thing ever, but I can definitely see where people can come from that because it just seems like there is a problem with every line and every scene.
Which does not give us any hope for Patrick Ness if he writes an actual Doctor Who episode.
I was assuming you gotta have a lot of trust.
Best Patrick Ness could be the next Mark Gatiss.
Yeah, well, I didn't think that was possible.
At worst, it could be day one on repeat for 8 episodes straight.
Oh, you talking about Torchwood.
Lucy gets a gold star for getting that reference.
Should we start a
Capaldi
specific
is the best
character?
actor in the episode.
If we want to start anywhere, transition over from talking about a Doctor Who episode, we might as well talk about his involvement.
Pierre Capaldi, aka Dangerous Scottish Guy, aka Malcolm Tucker, aka the Doctor for now.
It's a perfectly serviceable cameo. He shows up, talks a little bit.
And saves the main characters' lives.
You guys are gonna have to remind me, does he do anything but point the screwdriver, like turn it on and activate a thing? Is that all he does?
Kinda.
Yeah, pretty much like the Power of 3 resolution.
Yeah, well, at least that episode was good.
That's such the shitty crossover fanfiction thing to do. Doctor Who crossover fanfiction, so I can talk.
You wrote some?
Yes, they're ongoing, except that I haven't updated them for like 2 years.
You're gonna have to send me a link to them now.
And I make no promises, but maybe.
Oh no, you're gonna have to do it.
Joining us is a replica of Pierre Capaldi.
Nice. But yeah, that's just such the lazy thing to do, to have him come in, point the screwdriver, save the day, and then leave. Like, at least in the crossovers that he made with Sarah Jane Adventures, he was, like, along for the ride. Like, he showed up and did stuff, and there was conflict, and he had to do things. Here he just shows up, makes an intimidating speech, points the thing, the end.
In the Sarah Jane Adventures, gave us the long-awaited reunion between the Doctor and Joe Grant.
And plus, I think there's something to be said about those crossovers coming after we'd already established the cast of that show.
That's what Sarah Jane Adventures did right. They established themselves first before they had the Doctor crossover.
Yeah, because he's a crush. Like, that's what he is. And so you want people to be thinking, like, ooh, I wonder how the Doctor's going to interact with Luke, or I wonder how he's going to interact with Clyde.
Or how he's going to interact with K9 again.
But I don't know who any of these people are, so I'm like, oh, they don't really have a dynamic.
It's too soon for him to show up. I remember there was a scene where he like drops off the alien couple or the prince, and they just show like the box, and they should have just left it at that and then show Peter later on.
In the flashback, the TARDIS shows up to save them, and it plays the 10th Doctor theme for some reason. Like, the 12th Doctor has a distinct, easily identifiable theme song that people recognize at this point. It's been used through 2 series.
It's very sloppy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, come try to sing it.
Oh no, you're making Funko Capaldi lose his mind.
But yeah, why play the 10th Doctor theme and not that?
It doesn't make sense.
Because the 10th Doctor theme is the theme of the fan favorite Doctor, and ratings, and shut up!
Like, even if Tennant is the most memorable Doctor, that's not the most memorable piece of music. Like, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who recognizes that, like, track over before 11 or 12's theme.
Yeah, I will recognize 11's immediately. I Am the Doctor theme is pretty memorable.
Because they used it to death throughout his era. It was so overused that Stu Bagfull did a parody of playing the I Am the Doctor theme over him making a jam sandwich.
But if I'm not mistaken, when the Doctor goes over and he sees Clara on the wall, they play her theme. So there's no reason for them not to play the 12th.
I mean, even at Moffat's worst, like, I would trust that he would make a better episode than this if he were supervising Ness's writing. Maybe he just told Ness, you have to have a Clara reference, you have to have the Doctor be in it, and didn't give him any other, like, criteria or supervision.
It really feels that way.
Again, this is jumping around because everything in this episode is a problem, but, like, it's the one part of their conversation with the Doctor at the end that I can actually remember is when he brings up cracks and the tears and the stuff coming out of it, and they're all like, oh, so it's like the Hellmouth. And they start, like, referencing a bunch of shows. And one of them brings up the Vampire Diaries. And, like, the Alien Prince guy is like, everyone on that show is very attractive. That's a funny line, but it's real stupid when, like, in this same episode...
About any other show on the CW.
But in this same episode, April, the girl, earlier on, she's like, oh, I knew you guys were aliens because you didn't know anything about pop culture and are socially awkward. Prior to this scene and after this scene, he will display nothing to suggest that he's unfamiliar with pop culture. Nothing.
Comes out of nowhere line.
He doesn't make any malapropisms.
Like Russell T Davies out of nowhere line, like someone commenting about how great David Tennant's hair is.
But David Tennant's hair is great. Here we're talking about character traits that don't exist.
Uncle Capote has great hair. Just look at that. That's just amazing hair right there.
That character who says that, April, is an idiot in this episode? So maybe she's just being an idiot when she says that.
This is bad writing.
When, like, earlier in that same location, when she's, like, doing the banner or something, I forget what she says, but she says something really stupid, like, while she's working on that thing by herself, and she's talking to herself, and she says something real dumb.
Oh, a shadow moved or something? She goes, well, that was weird. And this keeps on, like, doing what she was doing.
Like, having a conversation with nobody. Since we're talking about April being an idiot, am I the only one who had to, like, facepalm when they get to the party or the prom or whatever, and they're like, April, you have to, like, get everyone's attention and get them to evacuate because of the things. And she's like, everybody leave, there's aliens. And they're like, boo, get off the stage. And she's like, none of you appreciate niceness. I bet you'd all listen to me if I was calling your mom fat on Instagram.
Yeah, that was very stupid. But she was like, you're all in danger, you're all in danger. Let's say there's a gas leak, there's a fire. Hold a damn fire alarm or something. My God.
But it's the, like, Instagram comment that makes no sense to me. Like, I get that you're a teenager, but you're gonna be that petty and stupid when people's lives are in danger. You're gonna take this moment to rant about how your niceness is underappreciated. The episode did more to make her seem stupid than it did to make her seem nice at that point, so I was like, oh, wait, is she supposed to be the nice one? Is that her character trait?
Yeah.
Edward, thoughts on April?
She's nice and hot. And here is Jack in 12 making out.
You better go get Spike. That one's more accurate.
Oh, no. Don't give him an excuse to get more toys.
You got a Spike one, right?
Yes, and an angel one.
Can we talk about a different character?
Yes, Quill.
That alien bodyguard woman who is the most interesting character.
Quill, yes.
Yeah, I guess she is the most interesting one. I mean, she's...
Her having the need to kill people, there's a lot you can do with that. It's like if Captain John Hart became a regular on Torchwood, and Jack is struggling to control him for 13 episodes.
That is something that I will give this show. Like, I didn't see the last 2 episodes, but we're really consistent about her being morally gray. Everyone kind of has to keep a leash on her, and they sort of fail most of the time.
Yeah, they do fail.
She's the character that I would most like to see just her and the Doctor team up, because she's the most distinct and, like, completely opposite to his ideology.
I mean, if you were going to pair her with any Doctor, pair her with the 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
Because that would be where the dynamic would be at.
Oh, God, we fight every
It would get that really stupid gun that's stupid and makes no sense.
Yes, I want to talk about that gun. What is the deal with the gun? It kills you if you use it, and if you miss, still connects with the other guy that it didn't hit.
And it's capable of connecting hearts somehow?
I'm going to quote a Moffat trope. I'll explain later.
At least he actually does explain it.
But that is the explanation. It's stupid.
Yes, it's really stupid. When I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. How does he even know how to connect with the person if it missed?
Was it said that she's not actually able to fire it, or she just tells people that so that she doesn't have to die?
Yeah, she probably tells people that so that she doesn't have to die.
I don't think they confirm it, but I'm pretty sure that's what she's doing.
Whoever designed the gun like that's an idiot. That's probably a gadget that Series 1 Torchwood or Miracle Day Torchwood would come up with.
Yeah, it really would.
You could just use bullets. I mean, they're not gonna work against the friggin' dark, ghosty whatevers, but I imagine for the most part, at least some of your problems could be solved if you just use bullets. Go buy a regular handgun.
Which you can't in England.
Darn it.
The gun is ridiculous. The plot with it is ridiculous.
Her and the prince is super weird.
Prince are the two characters that I'm most interested in. Other high school characters are expendable.
Yeah.
I get that he is a prince, and like he's in a position, or was in a position over her, so he's used to being sort of high and mighty like that, but he like is really, really mean to her. And I get that she's not a nice person, and that she also is mean, but he's like really badly condescending toward her, and it makes me not like him. Maybe it's not in this episode, maybe it's in upcoming episodes, but he is like real bad to her. Although, and this is getting onto a different character, the scene where like the black girl, name I can't be bothered with right now, is running from the shadows, and she runs into store and is just like breathing heavily, and an old lady is there, and the old lady says something stupid, and it's completely irrelevant, and the scene is never mentioned again, and it's a complete detour, and it's pointless.
Yeah, she was running from it. I think she said, I need to quit stressing myself out so much. And then the old lady says, me too.
I don't need so much pressure or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
And something about that at the time really bothered me. Like, that doesn't make sense as something that you would say right then.
It's like she was trying to dismiss getting chased down by a shadow monster as her imagination.
Much what happens whenever an alien invades modern day Earth. Everyone forgets about it.
This happened in 5 minutes, though. Not even 5 minutes, like 10 seconds.
That just shows how much we failed as a species.
It's okay if later she's like rationalizing it to herself after she's had a minute to calm down as like, I'm under a bit too much stress, I'm hallucinating. But no, she's running from this thing, runs into the store, and it's like, I think the reason it bothered me is that, like, it's like a light switch. Like, a light switches in her head the second she enters the store, and it makes it seem really weird, like the store changes her brain or something.
She ends up, like, shopping and buying chips and stuff. Like, nothing happened.
You're panicking for your life, and then as soon as the store door closes behind you, it's like, I'm under too much pressure. That's not your response to what just happened. If April is stupid, then that character just doesn't talk like a human being. She says something when she's doing like the math. They're doing like a math tutoring thing about being a nerd or being smart.
She had several. She had one, I think, about she was trying to show how smart she was, and then she said something racist on top of that. So, oh, you like that show because it's all about white people.
I don't know if that's the line I'm thinking of, but that was really dumb. Being racist or whatever. Like, she has more than one comment, right? Where she's like, oh, that's such a white people thing.
Yeah, when she was talking to the guy, like, FaceTiming.
She's like, talk about something other than what the white people are doing.
Yes, that's it.
You don't say that just in a conversation with an acquaintance. First of all, this is the first episode of this show, and I don't think you've held a conversation with any of the other main characters. There's no precedent for you regularly talking about what the white people are doing. That's something that you say when you know you're in a TV show.
Yeah.
And are aware of race tropes in TV shows. That's not something that I'm going to say to you guys when we're Skype chatting, like, isn't it great that we're talking about something other than what the Asian people are doing in whatever alternate universe where Asians are the leads in most TV shows? It doesn't make sense.
And I'm pretty sure she doesn't even know them at that point. So basically, her own friend is that guy.
Like that line that you have maybe in a few episodes when you've established a dynamic and like the white people stuff has taken precedence. Like, what white people is she talking about? Who are the white? That line seriously bothered me. Like, I know it's the first episode, so I can't say this with confidence, but it felt inappropriate for this material.
Oh no, we've seen someone get their leg cut off and blood everywhere.
That gets conveniently fixed by the doctor.
In the sense that this show is not talking about that, and it won't in future episodes. We're not talking about race. We'll give her one other token line in a future episode about how she feels awkward that none of her friends are her own race. I forget what the line is, but this show isn't talking about that. That line doesn't belong in this episode.
I'm guessing she just fits in with everybody after this, right?
Oh, but the thing is that, like, she doesn't fit in because she's the youngest. Like, she's a couple of years younger than everyone else, and that's why she doesn't.
Because she's so smart that she skipped grades or whatever.
Your hair looks awesome right now, Edward, can I just say?
I apologize to those that are confused watching, if anyone is watching. And if there isn't anyone watching, then ha!
Or anyone who, like, watches this in the future and tabs over and doesn't have a visual reference.
It'd be really funny if the only thing left, like when the planet is destroyed, is our freaking streams.
Before we move on to another character, because we should, there's another line she has, and you guys are going to have to remind me about this too. When the monster actually shows up, and I forget if it shows up in her room or the guy's room.
Her room.
And she has
It shows up in her room.
She has something about the police and her address.
Yeah, because
like,
she's calling the police.
And she says something about, like, the address of her house?
I thought it was the other one. The friend that she was talking to that wanted their address so he could call the police.
When the parents like, what's going on here?
What happened to the monster? Oh yeah, they got rid of it because of light.
Got the light in her room, and that solved the problem, which kind of makes these bad guys so hilariously weak when you think about it.
But it's like, I don't understand this in shows and movies. Just because it's the trope, we won't tell the parents about any of the supernatural stuff? Like, why would you not talk to your mom about what just happened?
She might not believe her, maybe?
You would at least try. Like, I mean, you could risk getting sent to a mental ward, but at the same time, you'd be like, Mom, me talking to a boy is less important than the fact that I was about to die 2 seconds ago. But no, we don't tell her just because the kid's not telling the parents is what we do in these types of shows. But that's not even what bothers me. What bothers me is, the monster shows up, and Ram, the guy, is like, I'm gonna call the police to help you. Tell me what your address is. And she can't remember her address. Not know what the number of your house is.
If she recently moved in, then I could understand, but that's not implied.
I've actually seen somebody that couldn't dial 911 with their phone.
Actually, it's 999 over there.
Good to know.
These are characters that we're supposed to kind of sympathize with, right? And yet one of them, when asked what her home address is, says, I don't know, something, something, something. Way worse than Torchwood. It's undoubtedly worse than Torchwood.
There's some episodes in the first season of Torchwood that are good, so I won't say that it's worse.
2 episodes of this show that I will call wholeheartedly good. One is The Thing with the Rock, and the other one is The Flowers That Eat People, so just watch out for those.
Okay, so I guess it might be on par with season 1 of Torchwood? We'll have to see. But
not really, since Torchwood Series 1 was 13 episodes, this one has 8 episodes.
Chances, I'll give it that, but at the same time, it's just, ooh, this episode is real bad. But I suppose if we have nothing else to say about Black Girl, whose name I still don't remember, maybe we should move on.
Move on to the characters that we haven't talked about, which there isn't much to talk about, so now I'm lost.
About the prince or Ram?
Let's talk about the prince.
Is it
the other character that I find interesting?
We have them look human for the sake of the flashback so that we can save on makeup budget and the in-story excuse is like, why don't you just imagine us the way that we look right now? There's like a short cutaway where April is like, so what do you guys look like? And they say, totally human, we look just like this. And then we cut to what they actually look like, and they're weird spiky creatures. Why did they say that they look normal? Like, she was completely prepared to hear what they actually look like. Why keep it a secret?
I don't understand that part.
Because budget is not as big as they would want us to believe.
I mean, budget reasons for why they would go disguisey in the flashback, yeah, but why tell her that this is what they always look like when it isn't? She knows they're not from the planet already. Why print something you're not still?
It's really stupid because I can understand they didn't want to freak her out or something, but she already is prepared. She said, oh, so you guys probably look weird. You just pretend to be like humans and stuff. They're like, nope. Oh, this is what we look like.
You could have just taken out that edit. You could have just taken out that image of them looking like they normally do, which holds for a really weird long time, but...
I think they wanted to show us what they really look like, and they had to make an excuse for it.
It's supposed to be funny, but I don't get the joke.
No. I think aliens wrote this show.
That would explain it.
That means Patrick Ness is an alien? Oh my god.
I really think so, because nothing about this felt natural. Okay, let's talk about the flashback just a little bit. Am I the only one that thought it looked like Harry Potter meets Charm?
That's how I would describe it as well.
I want to say that I'm glad that they showed us their planet at all, since it could have been real easy for them to not, but it doesn't look particularly like, the sets look vaguely alien, like enough that it's passable for an alien civilization, but I don't know, it's a corridor and a room. Like, we're talking about a revolution, right? Like, this is all like apocalypse while a revolution is going on. Like, on paper, this sounds like the opening to Man of Steel or something.
I will find him!
Man of Steel, and nothing that's better than this episode.
They could have it kind of look sci-fi, you know, like have like sci-fi suits or something. They just put them in like school uniforms, and it just looks like they're Harry Potter kids. It looks really awkward.
Is that flashback supposed to be set in a school? If I remember correctly, it's supposed to be like a castle, right?
I can't remember. I thought it was a school at first, but now that you're saying that it's supposed to be a castle, maybe I misinterpreted.
I don't know, because don't trust me, I don't remember enough, but he's royalty. Where else would he be during this, like, uprising?
They're, like, indicating that it's a school, I guess, because everyone else is, like, a teenager there.
It's super weird.
Pretty much how you would describe class, isn't it? Super weird. John Barrowman wrote it.
Porno?
Probably
have like
porno.
7 gay characters, 1 straight character, have all the gay characters hit on the straight character, and straight character being oblivious to everyone else hitting on him.
And then it turns out that the straight character was bi all along.
Well, John Barrowman has that effect on people.
Future episodes will actually give him the pop culture thing and will really, like, not be committal with it. Like, sometimes he'll know what Vampire Diaries are, and other times he won't understand what a Rickroll is or something. It's real inconsistent just how much he knows about anything, and I think it's just whenever they want it to be funny.
Yeah. So should we talk about, like, the last character?
Yeah, Ram loses his leg boy.
Yeah, that's pretty much his only character trait.
And that he's kind of a douche.
Yes.
He gets better with time.
He looks way too old for this part.
If Lucifer was here, he would start calling him Student Douche.
Yeah, you mentioned that you thought he looked too old. I didn't have that. Now that I really think about it, yeah, he kind of does, but that never occurred to me in, like, any of the episodes I watched.
He's as creepy as the Doctor. He's trying to pick up young people, too young for him.
Maybe it's just because I remember enough of high school to be like, no, people will start to look that old sometimes in high school. There's an agedness to his face. You're right.
And it's even worse when he brings his girlfriend, who also looks too old.
She's literally just there to die. You could remove her from this episode and lose nothing. Like, the last thing he does before he, like, faints out from having lost his goddamn leg, which is he pushes the guy into the portal and is like, who says you get to make all the decisions? And that's a really lame line.
Didn't he hit him with a chair?
Some kind of blunt object.
pathetic as me trying to hit a Cyberman with the chair I'm sitting on right now.
Talk about how bad these villains are also.
They're a cool design.
He falls into the portal, you give a really lame one-liner, and then you faint. I don't know. Struck me as real lackluster.
It's really bad because he got his legs chopped off, and he was off screen for a good amount of time, okay? He should have bled out already. He managed to get up after he's been bleeding out for like 5 minutes, hops up, and hits the guy with the chair.
And then he's unconscious.
Wow! I was like, God, that's bad.
That's real contrived.
The violence seemed almost like unnecessary.
It entertained me.
Do we think this show really needs or gets anything out of this amount of gore?
Yes, because it needs something to differentiate from Doctor Who and let people know this is not a family show to replace Torchwood with, so they gotta be as gory and reckless as Torchwood Series 1.
I mean, I suppose I kind of get it, because this isn't a show that you're gonna let kids watch anyway, because we do kind of talk about some mature subject matter. So you might as well go whole hog and embrace the rating and take advantage of the gore so you can actually have that. I don't know, for as morbid as Torchwood got, Torchwood dealt with death a lot, but I don't remember it being this indulgent with, like, blood and guts everywhere.
No.
It's just that when people got shot in Torchwood, they actually bled. Oh my god, Russell T. Doctor Who.
Yeah, but here it feels real unnecessary and real juvenile, the way that we'll just throw blood and guts everywhere.
Well, it is the spinoff for the teenage audience, so...
Maybe we should, raise teen standards rather than placating them.
Exactly.
It feels like it just comes kind of out of nowhere, and it's just, like, really over the top.
It's not even that, like, it happens here and then it's just a part of this show. Episodes will go on for a while before any gore happens. Like, I think it's the second or third episode where it's just sort of a normal kind of mystery-ish thing, and then one scene will literally end with blood and guts being sprayed all over our characters' faces, and it's the only instance of that level of violence in the whole episode, and it's like, that's real out of place, guys.
Yeah, and it is still part of the Doctor Who universe. When you watch Torchwood, even though it was a lot more violent and sexual, it did still kind of feel like it was in Doctor Who.
Because we had Captain Jack, a character that was a former companion for Torchwood, which was established in Doctor Who previously.
That's true, but it still had the same feel, and that's probably because it had the same showrunner.
Like, we'd done enough setup for Torchwood that it firmly felt like a Doctor Who spinoff. This doesn't feel like a Doctor Who spinoff, and the Doctor is in the first episode, so that's weird. It feels like it could and probably should be its own universe.
Well, it simply goes to show, just because you pick a setting from the first ever Doctor Who episode as your spin-off setting isn't going to automatically sell people that it's from Doctor Who.
I know.
You need to make it feel like it's in the same universe as Doctor Who. It's like Miracle Day all over again.
Especially, like, when this is coming out at or after or around the same time as Series 9.
It actually originally premiered time in 2016 where we would normally have Doctor Who as compensation.
Right.
For there being no Doctor Who in 2016 aside from a Christmas episode.
Maybe it feels closer than it did to anyone else. In Series 8, we had Cole Hill, and it feels nothing like this.
Bigger on the inside or something. Is the school a TARDIS?
And we have a character who carries over from that episode into this show. He's in this episode, and yet it feels nothing like the Cole Hill that he was in Doctor Who.
Feels like they're just kind of riding off the Doctor Who's name.
It felt like someone had an idea for, like, a Buffy-type show where we fight supernatural stuff in high school, and somewhere along the line, someone was like, let's make it a Doctor Who thing. That'll get us more views. So they shoved Doctor Who stuff into what they already have and don't change anything else. It feels completely out of place, like it doesn't belong in the same world as Doctor Who does, and it'll have Doctor Who things in it.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
If Buffy was in the Doctor Who universe, then this show being in the Doctor Who universe.
This has more connection.
Oh, the villains.
Okay.
They're lame. I don't remember any of their dialogue. Do they say anything remotely interesting?
I don't think so.
No, I'm not wild about the design of them.
What was your reaction to the heart thing?
That it was really bad. I don't even understand. How did she get connected to the heart by her missing with the gun? She's going to shoot him, and then the prince pushes her to the side, and she misses, and I think she hits the wall, if I remember correctly.
She has to hit him somewhere. Or
I don't think she did. That's the thing. I'll watch that scene again, but I'm pretty sure she missed completely, and then that made their hearts connected.
Final thoughts on Class.
Cared about it more than the Doctor Who Series 10 premiere. That is all.
It was bad. It was really bad. Felt like an alien made it.
It's the worst. The worst Doctor Who thing, period.
Miracle Day would like to have a word with you, Nicholas.
I got something out of Miracle Day. Miracle Day was also something that doesn't remotely feel like it belongs in the Doctor Who universe, but it had some vaguely interesting...
Before they talk about repercussions of Miracle Day was interesting.
See, I'm not someone who defines bad as absence of good. I define bad as presence of bad. This has the most bad contained in a single episode. Anything, I think. Oh! Melissa?
Oh, God.
Are we done?
I guess. Okay, see you later, bye.